I'm Trish Toby with WARC reporting to you live from Westchester, New York, where there appears to be some sort of mutant menace on the loose.
Hey, everybody, I'm Pat Reber.
And I'm Matt Allcamp.
And say it with us, Daniel. Welcome to Mutant Menace. Oh, perfect. Matt!
Ah!
Sorry.
God!
How are you?
I'm doing all right. I just had some pizza. I just had a little bit of ice cream. I got more ice cream waiting for me after the show, and I got a little Manhattan here. So
I've got some almond cookies waiting for me.
Wow, we're indulgent tonight.
Yeah, we are. And there's a reason for that, Matt.
Why?
Because it's Alpha Flight episode 4.
Alpha Flight Fridays with Matt and Pat.
Right. This is what we do on our Friday nights now.
Alpha Flight. We haven't been to Alpha Flight in a couple weeks.
Yeah, 3 or 4, if I recall. And I'll tell you, I've been itching to find out what happens.
You know, they have a cream for that.
Oh,
remember when people used to make that joke all the time? They have a cream for that.
It's pretty good. It's a pretty sick burn.
Yeah. So so you've been itching about Alpha Flight.
Yeah, and then I was itching to remember what happened in Alpha Flight leading up to this point.
They have that they don't have a cure for.
There's no cream for that.
If you get itchy because you can't remember things, look, everybody ages.
Doctor, my brain itches.
So what happened? What happened when last we left our Canadian knuckleheads?
Well, so there should be a portmanteau for that.
No, I don't think there is.
Here's what I do remember pretty clearly, Matt. They are a bad team of superheroes. They are.
I love it. This is what you've hung on to because you were not a big Alpha Flight fan until that unlocked them for you. Is thinking about them as bad.
That was the realization that I came to. And again, we're unclear if John Byrne understands that or not. We might get some clarity to that in this episode,
buddy. This episode is going to be all about what John Byrne thinks about Alpha Flight versus what the reality of Alpha Flight is.
Yeah. We're going to dive into his sick, twisted little mind.
His sick, twisted mind. He's like 20% South Park, 30% Family Guy, and it's 30% Deadpool. Okay, yeah.
But it is a lot of fun to read this as there's 2 things to keep in mind. Number 1, they're all just not great at being superheroes, but they're trying their hardest and they're good people. Most of them are good people.
Most
with flaws.
Mm-hmm.
The other thing to keep in mind is that this has recently been reading like a high fantasy series where you have a core group and they've all gone sort of their separate directions with a reason. And we've been following them slowly through those stories. And then at some point they always reunite. They tie back together. And I've been itching to see that. They haven't gotten back together for a couple episodes.
You're just
now.
An itchy guy these days.
I am. Yeah, it's all over the place, Matt.
So I think, and we'll be able to talk this episode about how successful he is at it, but I think that is a very cool superhero experiment, right? To say, hey, what if we had a super team that they all basically lived their own lives as both people and superheroes, But when a big threat appears, they finally come together, and to do that like as an annual event. I think that's interesting.
Yeah, it's again this is the framing that has allowed me to really enjoy Alpha Flight, because the other thing we're not getting away from is the words. The biggest impediment to enjoying Alpha Flight is John Byrne's writing. He just is endlessly wordy, and that's not going to let up today.
No, so many words. So where did we leave them story wise? Last we read, Mac, aka Guardian, was dead. His grieving wife, Heather Hudson, was feeling aimless for the majority of our last episode of Alpha Flight, and now she decided, you know what? I'm going to reform Alpha Flight. I'm going to be the leader.
Right. So she's been trying to sort of get the band back together without a whole lot of success. I think she got Puck.
She had Puck from before the word go, right?
Right. But I think that's where we left them, right? It was her, Puck, and they were going to figure out how to get everybody else looped back in.
Right. Because she kind of...
Snowbird, maybe?
She tried to... I think she tried to get in touch with other members, and they either said no or she couldn't raise them.
Right. We followed Shaman for a little bit. He was reunited with his daughter, Elizabeth, an archaeology student who he was estranged from.
Yeah.
And then we found out she's a mutant. She can absorb and redirect magical energies.
Right. A very, very specific mutant power.
Yeah, pretty situational.
If there's no magical energies around, she's absolutely useless, which we'll see in these issues.
She found a skull in Calgary on an archaeological student expedition and uncovered an evil spirit that took the form of scrambled eggs and...
Yeah, they fought some scrambled eggs.
The biggest pile of scrambled eggs you've ever seen.
It was huge, and it was menacing. Because... what happened? There was this 117-year-old dude. He was trying to push all of his family away, but his great-granddaughter, she forced her way into his life, and then they got attacked by the great beast Ranak. And now Shaman and Elizabeth, they got to go to the past for some reason.
Yes, they said if we're going to defeat this for good, we have to go back 100 years into the past.
When this dude did something to piss off this great beast.
Lucas Strang.
No, Lucas, it's worse than that. It's Lucas Stang.
Lucas Stank.
So that's it. Yeah, North Star refuses to come back. Snowbird confessed she loved her old coworker Doug Thompson.
Yeah.
And last we saw her, she was like, if you want to truly love me, you must see my true face. And then cut to
and we didn't get to see it.
Yeah, cut away. Puck's just being Puck.
Yeah, he's there.
And then Aurora and Sasquatch they're dating. Aurora is trying to separate herself from her brother. Oh, Sasquatch turned her into not a mutant anymore somehow. She wanted him to debrother her. He intentionally demutanted her.
Did he? Yes. As we know, that's what he was trying to do.
Okay, yeah, I guess we don't know for sure. We just know... We know she still has her powers, but they're not quite as strong.
Yeah.
And she cut her hair and changed her outfit.
Right, but we didn't get to see the outfit either.
Oh.
So, there's a lot to dig for here. Ooh, that'll all have to wait, though. Matt, it is time for Pat's Email Corner. You excited?
I'm so excited. I'm always excited for Pat's Email Corner.
We're going to start off in an unusual fashion with an email from Weapon Jason. These are his thoughts on episode 56. He says, hey, Pat, tell Matt I know you're having fun complaining, but at the time, the fact that Thor's Casket of Ancient Winter's storyline was impacting all the Marvel books and the wrapping up of Rom's run with the Wraith War crossing over too was pretty damn cool. I think I think mostly because the approach was less you will make your book about this directives and was more left up to each title how much it impacted anything. Claremont, I think, is flexing here by how much he manages to integrate these events into his actual story. It's not like this in any way slows down what he's already doing. It's a really good point. He's able to just kind of do it pretty seamlessly.
Yes.
This is the gentle launch of what Marvel will soon turn into, the annual event-driven storytelling that will derail every storyline in service of the crossover, but at the time, it was just a cool expansion of having Spider-Man see Iron Man or something fly by in a panel and having an editor's note to check out events in the latest Iron Man issue. I get that, but that's also, they've been doing that since the 60s. Like
in small ways. I can see what he's saying, that it's building, like it's becoming more, the idea of a crossover is becoming more of a thing, but it won't really, like he says, you're going to see the culmination of it in Secret Wars 2 that's going to suck fucking ass, and then Louise Simonson and Chris Claremont are going to show that they can do it much, much better shortly afterwards with an event called Mutant Massacre.
Oh no.
And then after that, Jim Stupid is going to force them to keep doing that every year and drive Louise Simonson away from Marvel. Ultimately.
Can't wait. Weapon Jason continues, as someone who's lost both parents as well as recently a very important family friend who was like a second father to me, I can say that Rachel's emotional moments here land hard. Yeah, since I know we bragged about having alive dads, but sincerely, if you've lost a parent, that's our really, hearts are with you.
Yeah, totally.
Not as much when I was young and could just talk to them, but now years after they are gone, just the thought of being able to go back and possibly talk to them again has a very strong pull.
I could see that. I guess that's kind of what we were saying in the episode, right? Is we were unsure if it was our lack of experience in that area that was making us not connect to it, or if it was just done kind of poorly. So it's interesting to know that from Weapon Jason's perspective, it was done well.
Yeah, that hit.
And I will take his word for it. I don't know about you, Pat. Pat's making a sour face and giving me a thumbs down.
I don't believe you. One last thought here. Love that Jaime Rodriguez is using a Sony Watchman, which in 1984 is really cutting edge tech.
Did I mention in that episode that my dad had one of those in the late 80s and early 90s?
Incredible.
And I used to take it and watch it all the time.
What'd you watch on it?
Whatever I could get, which was almost nothing. So probably like, just like a little kid in the early 90s, like it wouldn't have been late 80s because I would have been 4. So early 90s, I was just like, anything moving on a screen is more entertaining.
You were watching the news.
yeah. In full black and white. Had you ever seen one in that era?
I had seen, I don't think it was a Sony Watchman, but I do remember seeing portable television sets. Specifically, my dad, when I was younger, was in like rec sports leagues. And so if they would take place at the same time as like the Eagles game, somebody would bring the TV and they would watch 30 minutes of the Eagles game before it ran out of battery. Finally, he says, also, there have been plenty of retcons to explain why Nova Roma is Nova Roma, most that involve Selene. I'm sure we'll learn about
like
that.
Like why it never evolved?
I can always ask him. But he says, and in the Marvel Comics universe, is it really that weird that they can recreate an ancient Roman bath? I mean, maybe somebody asked Reed Richards if he had any photos lying around from some time travel event.
Okay, yes.
Yeah.
But
hang on.
This is very clearly they're being like, oh, this is what the Roman bath looks like in this museum in New York City at this moment. Like Chris Claremont.
Yeah.
and decided to put it in the comic. I get what you're saying, and I think that would be a fucking cool idea in a comic book. Is like the museums in the Marvel universe must be fucking wild.
Oh yeah, yeah.
But at this point,
Even just the things that happened in ancient Egypt in that universe were radically different.
and they know it because they've all like time traveled and there's still Egyptians, like ancient Egyptians walking around and shit. So like that interesting idea, sort of the thing, that's the sort of comic book thing that gets explored in the 2000s and 2010s. In the 1980s, what they were still doing was trying to bring the real world into Marvel. And in situations like this, it just comes across as kind of ridiculous.
It does. And it is, I will maintain, see, this was sort of your argument at the time, Matt, but like what it would be missing is the flaws, the very specific, like the wear that was applied to it, the smell of the place because of the way that people behaved in it. Like,
Again, when you walk into an abandoned YMCA, you're not like, this feels just like the YMCA pool of my youth. You're like, fuck, this is so weird and creepy and unfamiliar.
Yeah. Or an abandoned mall.
My God, yeah.
An example more people might have a frame of reference for.
I spent a lot of time breaking into abandoned buildings as a kid. I was a little bit of a rapscallion, but here's a small example, right? It was in the 2010s that archaeologists discovered. It might have been a little earlier, but it became publicized in the 2010s that archaeologists discovered that a lot of ancient statues that we think is like alabaster white marble, right, were actually painted.
We're actually, pretty vibrantly colored.
Yes, and same.
I already knew that.
Same with what?
Yeah, it was just in,
you knew that before
it was the last like 10 or 20 years that the archaeologists figured it out.
And the same was probably true of the walls and the columns and stuff. There's probably a lot more color than we think there was, and that is one way in which
it would be radically different.
And she'd walk in and be like, why is everything white? Did they forget to paint this place?
So you're wrong, Weapon Jason, but please, as always, keep writing in. Gotta move on, though. Let's move on to another unusual emailer. Email Michael has written in, also in response to episode 56. He says, hey, Pat, tell Matt that I agree that eggs are the funniest food. I have nothing else to say about that.
That's why you egg people's houses and not like grape people's houses.
Exactly. Graping a house would be fun.
If you wake up and your lawn is covered in grapes.
Like you can't walk anywhere without stepping on a grape.
Fuck. Who did this?
That'd be so good.
Expensive. Oh, yeah, good.
Oh, yeah, that would be expensive. I guess eggs are expensive these days.
You're right. What's more expensive, an egg or a grape? You tell me.
mutantmenacepod@gmail.com.
Your move, Hutch.
What do you think is more expensive?
Do not research, because you could like just look it up by gram, I guess, but
he goes on, he says there was some discussion in this episode about Chris Claremont using the word suckers repeatedly. It reminds me of when I was a kid and my dad called everything and everyone he disliked or was mad at a turkey. Years later, I asked him why he was so obsessed with that word, and he told me it was because he didn't think saying asshole or motherfucker was appropriate in front of a little kid. It didn't explain why always turkey and nothing else, but I have to wonder if Claremont is doing the same thing and is simply trying to censor himself while failing to think of more than one PG-rated word to do so.
That's really good. I absolutely love how everybody's families have a different one of these. I remember my buddy Sean in high school, he used to say his dad, when they were driving, his favorite thing to do was yell at people, "Where'd you get your driver's license?" And then just like a department store, like, "Where'd you get your driver's license? J.C. Penney, Kohl's?" No, I'm sure it was something. Target, Acme. Do they have Acmes elsewhere in the
No, that's specific
regional?
here. The rest of the country, it's a company that makes anvils and explosives. All right, gotta keep moving, Matt. Thank you so much, Email Michael. We're gonna move on to Inkmaster. The Inkmaster. He says, "Hey Pat, tell Matt that at this rate you should start calling it Pilk Email Corner."
Damn it.
I will say, if we were to get a sponsorship from Pepsi, I would consider calling this Pilk Email Corner. He says also, if Pat is the Eggman, does that make Matt the Walrus?
Fuck.
Cuckoo Cachoo.
You don't
That
get
was
to say
me.
that.
That was me, not
You don't get to say that. You don't get to say Cuckoo Cachoo. I'm the walrus. I get to say Cuckoo Cachoo. You don't get to say that. I'm the walrus.
I'm sorry. You're absolutely right. I had no right. I get to say, whoo!
You can do all the rest of the lyrics if you want. But once he's the walrus, he says Cuckoo Cachoo. So, like...
Inkmaster goes on. He says, to hopefully help clarify Rogue's powers, normally the absorbed powers will fade over time and the affected person will just naturally recover. So we already agreed on that.
Yes.
Naturally, the more she drains from someone, the longer she has their powers and the longer it will take them to recover. We know that as well. If she drains them for long enough, she absorbs their powers and psyche completely, as with what happened to Carol. Still full agreement. So it's less of a living monolith situation, more that the rate of fading is usually proportionate to the rate of recovery, which are both proportionate to how long she drained someone for. Since Storm recovered before Rogue leapt into action, and the rate it takes someone to recover is roughly proportionate to how long the powers last for, that means that Storm recovering before Rogue took action means that any of her psyche Rogue absorbed also faded, which means any heroic instincts she felt must have been her own.
So I think that the implication in that, I agree with you that is eventually how Rogue's powers work, and that is a good no prize retroactive explanation. However, I think in that comic, the implication was that when the other person's powers return, it takes it back away from Rogue. Because Claremont just hadn't figured it out yet.
Yeah, I think that makes sense. I think you're both right.
I think Inkmaster is right in that this is eventually, I know that this is eventually how Rogue's powers work, but I think at this time, Claremont just hadn't quite written those rules yet.
Right. One more email just to round us out, Matt. It is from Sweet Douglas. He titles it Alpha Flight of Fancy.
Hey, here's something wild. We didn't mention, I don't know how we didn't mention this last episode, but last episode, Anne Mackenzie calls Douglas Thompson Sweet Douglas.
Whoa. Oh, Sweet Douglas.
Sweet Douglas.
Well, there we go. What a fitting nickname.
Mm-hmm.
He says, hey, Pat, tell Matt that I haven't emailed in a while because I was exhausted from work. No one ever needs to explain to us. You're emailing plenty. You don't have to email us every episode. You're welcome to email us every episode.
We don't expect it, but it's nice to hear from you guys. And, almost it's nicer to hear from you guys when we haven't heard from you for a while, because it's like, oh, Sweet Douglas.
No offense to the Weapon Jasons and the email Michaels out there. And the Mikey Two Nails.
What I said was, and I think you all misheard it, it's equally nice to hear from you guys when it's been a while versus every episode.
He's talking about Alpha Flight appropriately enough. He says it's a great series, but definitely too wordy and maybe trying too hard to be Canadian. I don't know if I've ever heard any of my fellow Canucks say even a quarter as often as puck, and it's hilarious how they make the Boobiers sound like they're from France instead of Quebec. I keep chuckling as I put a Quebecois accent on Aurora, replacing sapristi with tabarnak, and so on. I don't know what that's funny to somebody.
Yeah, I don't know what that is. I mean, it's funny to me, but I don't know what it means.
I also wanted to mention that we all know what Toad's real power is, taking the fall for Magneto. Says F in chat for Toad. And finally, if I had to choose, I would rather drown in mayo and let Warlock drown in Pilk. I just can't stand the little guy, and I think drowning in Pilk is much funnier. So at least I'd get a good laugh on the way down. Jesus Christ, sweet Douglas.
Wow.
We made it explicit. You don't even have to let them drown. The X-Man doesn't have to die.
You don't survive. The X-Man survives. Or can. I think they have no control over whether the X-Man dies. I think they can throw the X-Man in Pilk. Or mayonnaise.
Yeah.
And then
let them drown if it's...
And let whatever happens happen.
Because before we clarified, people were giving us both scenarios.
Yeah.
So, okay. That's pretty sick and twisted, sweet Douglas.
Getting into the sick, twisted mind of sweet Douglas.
That'll do it for Pat's Email Corner today. Or even for the whole week. Oh, Matt, just before
I got to talk to you about Alpha Flight.
No, but just before.
Well, I got to talk to you about Alpha Flight.
I know, buddy. Hey, I know.
I want to talk to you about Alpha Flight.
Just before, so that we can talk about Alpha Flight, I gotta ask.
Okay.
Did you do anything X-Men related this week?
Oh, man. So I've been thinking about this question, thinking hard. And I think the answer is probably no. I'm still preparing for this road trip, which we decided is kind of X-Men related.
Oh, sure. Yeah. So yes. Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, like, I went and got some change to keep in my car.
Like coins?
Coins. I got my car all checked out at the shop.
Well, great.
So so that and I just little stuff. I just been all like preparing.
Yeah. Making sure you have your backup pair of ruby quartz glasses.
How about you, Pat? Have you done anything X-Men related this week?
In fact, I have, Matt.
I don't believe you.
And honestly, I can't believe you didn't mention this because you did it with me. You and I.
Oh, that was, yes.
You should have said it. We made an appearance on the Drunk Banthas podcast. Does It Hold Up?
Yeah.
We were invited on. It's going to take a little bit to get released, but keep an eye on their channel because they make a lot of really cool, fun stuff on YouTube.
Yeah, they're two super funny guys. And now they're our best friends, and no one can tell us otherwise, including them.
Yeah. So shout out to our new best friends, Matt. I'm sorry that you and I are no longer best friends.
And listener best friend Christy, sorry.
Well, she's still best friends of the show.
Okay. Oh, they're best friends of us, but not the show.
Personally, yeah. I don't think they really like us. The show.
They love us.
The people.
Mm.
All right. Yeah, keep an eye out. We will be guesting on their show
eventually. I'm excited for you guys to hear it. It was a lot of fun. We talked about the are we allowed to say? I don't know. Let's not say.
Yeah,
so
in case we can't.
Patrick.
Yo.
All of this was just preamble to the main event.
It's a lot of preamble.
And you know what the main I know. You know what the main event is?
What's that, Matt?
So you're gonna tell me.
Oh, I do, Matt.
Oh.
You're
gonna tell me all about Alpha Flight 19. Number 19.
Yes. Alpha Flight number 19. Turn again, time in thy flight.
Jesus. Yeah, this appears to be a misquote of the first line of the poem Rock Me to Sleep by Elizabeth Akers Allen.
Okay.
I it is just John Byrne trying to be artsy and failing. It is. Oh, it's not the first line. It's the end of the first stanza. Rock me to sleep, mother. Rock me to sleep. And then at the beginning of the poem. It says, "Backwards, turn backwards, O time, in your flight."
Huh. What do you think he means by that?
Literally nothing. I think he means absolutely nothing. I think he is just attempting to be
half remembered the
poetic.
poem. And
Yes, yeah. I can't.
fair enough.
I think somebody flies probably in the comic. And that's what he does. He's one of the world's least poetic guys, and he really wants to be the opposite of that.
And that is John Byrne, creator, writer, artist. Andy Yankus, coloring. Rick Parker, lettering. Denny O'Neil.
And I wish he would stop.
Denny O'Neil, editor, and
you got it.
Jim Shut Up, editor in chief.
Yes.
Release date October 30th, 1984. Cover date February 1985. Shaman is casting a spell. While Elizabeth, Puck, and Heather watch, he determines that the threat that attacked them last issue is still active and dangerous. They got together. The half of Alpha Flight is here now. It's Shaman, Puck, and Heather.
Okay.
Shaman believes this all happened due to something Stang did.
I'm sure I wrote Stang. I'm sure I wrote Stang and you came in and changed it to be wrong.
Shaman believes this all happened due to something that Stank did when he was 17, 100 years ago.
We all did weird things as stanky 17.
Since this involves a great beast, Snowbird arrives and bizarrely bows down before Elizabeth. One more member. We're reuniting. Elizabeth is apparently some kind of prophesied chosen one, the breaker of all spells, the one who binds all evil.
What?
Jesus Christ. As per the ancient and terrible prophecy, she pulls a tiara out of Shaman's medicine bag and puts it on her head, transforming her into some kind of sorceress or whatever. She begins to ask about the terrible prophecy, but there's no time for that now. They have to travel 100 years into the past to Calgary, 1884.
When they time travel, they almost... Puck makes a big show of that he almost landed in a puddle. He does a big showy flip, and he's like, "Oh, that was almost a wet arrival." All right, you almost touched a puddle, dude. We
survived the peril of being embarrassed.
Could not be lower stakes, my dude. Didn't you used to be a fucking bullfighter in the 1950s?
There is, so Michael Shaman drops the hint that I forget exactly what Elizabeth does, but she does something and he's like, oh my goodness, she could be the one foretold. And I thought this was going to be sort of the path that we're going down, like a chosen one story.
Right.
But literally 2 panels later, Snowbird comes in and bows down and says, "The chosen one." Mystery solved.
All right. Okay. I guess that she's that now. They also say her power may rival Doctor Strange.
Oh yeah.
Which is...
That's pretty good.
I guess. I mean, I'm pretty baffled by her power, to be honest.
Yeah. Well, I'm sure it'll clear up as we go.
You think her power will come up in these issues? You think that, you think they'll address her power in some way?
I'm sure they will. They'll give us a little more to chew on here. Using Elizabeth's magical senses, they find their way to a little shack where a nude man is floating in the air and glowing, while a furry cowboy holds a woman at gunpoint and a young blonde boy stands there looking confused.
Would you say roughly a roughly 17-year-old blonde boy?
I would say he looks like 12 or 13, honestly.
Well, 17 was a lot younger back in the Old West.
Right.
And it's not the Old West, by the way. It's Calgary. It's Calgary, Alberta.
The furry cowboy is Zebediah Chase. Zebediah Chase is here.
Zebediah Chase.
And he's holding
Everyone's
hostage.
favorite one.
And he's holding hostage the granddaughter of an indigenous magic man, forcing him to summon the great beast Renak. The boy is, of course, Lucas Stank. It seems they stole protective necklaces from the girl, and so while the magic guy warns them about the dangers of Renak, they don't listen.
What are all our great beasts so far? We've got Tundra. We've got Renak. We've got
who's the one that's innocent? Kolak?
Yeah, I'll look it up while you keep going.
God, I'm a bad activist. I forgot his name. Meanwhile, Kolamak, there it is. Free Kolamak. Meanwhile, Snowbird is frothing at the mouth to rush in and stop the ritual, but Shaman holds her back. When Renak appears, Lucas shoots him with a gun, which does nothing. However, the protective necklaces actually do turn out to work. The thieves demand women and money from Renak, so he produces them, but Zeb finds he can't touch them. That's because of your necklace, says Renak. So Zeb pulls it off and is immediately possessed by the great beast.
He just pulls it right off. He's like, oh.
It's like, okay. If I get this pretty lady and all this gold.
If I get this pretty lady who just appeared from thin air. Damn, I can't wait to get my hands on this pretty lady who appeared from thin air.
It's very funny for these two clearly stupid cowboys to be exploiting incredible mystic power and awakening an ancient god. And they're like, oh yeah, we read about it in a book. Or, no, they pulled the information from somebody. From the girl they're holding hostage. But it's just like, and it's extremely funny how reckless they're being. We
should say, so we're not avoiding the problematic nature of it. It is an indigenous girl.
Oh, yeah.
And the nude man is indigenous, too.
But the Renak storyline continues to be incredibly funny. And, like, intentionally so.
Yeah.
Snowbird finally jumps in and confronts Renak, who lashes out since Nelvana, Snowbird's mother, was the one who imprisoned him 1,000 years ago. Remember that?
She imprisoned everybody. Why does this lady keep imprisoning people?
He blasts her out of the shack and across the street. Shaman runs to help and sends Elizabeth in to face Renak alone. He tries to blast her too, but she absorbs it and zaps it right back while Puck subdues Lucas Stank with a rad jump kick. The magic guy from earlier shows back up and tells the nude one and tells Lucas he's the only one who can defeat Renak. And Lucas has the idea to fill one of his bullet casings with a piece of the magic necklace and shoot Renak.
And everybody's like, you're the only one who can do it. Huh. He's the only one who can fire a gun.
You have the one human skill that may yet save us. Gun. And then he's like, oh, if I break a piece off of this necklace, it's shaped exactly like a bullet. It fits right into the shell casing.
Wow, Lewis Stank, you...
Pretty crafty.
Pretty crafty. You're a crafty boy.
And then he straight up shoots him in the head. Like,
nice.
He is holding a pistol to this guy's head. You see the exit. You see it exiting the back of Renak's head. It's fucking brutal.
He yells, call me Stank now. He doesn't.
Later, Lucas buries the formerly possessed body of Zebediah Chase right where Elizabeth will find him 100 years later, and the magic man tells him the prophecy about how Renak will eventually strike back through his loved ones. Since this has all already happened, there's nothing anyone can do.
Yeah. They also... There's a line here where it's like, and then he pushes all of his family away, except for a short period where he takes a wife. And that's just John Byrne going, fuck. How would he have grandkids?
Like,
Fuck.
you'll be alone for 1,000 years.
He's like, fuck, how would I already gave him a granddaughter. I started this story by having a granddaughter. How? And so
except
he just
for the 2 years that you're married,
except
and
for when you
bear
grew
child.
a affection with a woman over time, and she decided she agreed to marry you because she felt so connected to you.
Elizabeth is upset about all this and also gets a new name from Snowbird. Talisman. The end.
Okay. The end.
Can we pause for a minute and just talk about the concept of time travel in this comic? Because it is either brilliant or incredibly stupid.
Yes. Okay, yeah, please.
There's a lot of implications here. The first one that struck me was when Shaman stops Snowbird from attacking Renak by saying, we have to allow the moment to happen. There seems to be like not like string theory as much as it is there's a collected series of moments that occur through time. And if you affect those moments, then it can have hazardous effects on time, which I guess but you can do plenty of other things as long as you don't affect these key moments.
This is the Into the Spider-Verse.
Sort of.
What was that? What's the? Everyone started using this term all of a sudden after that
canon event.
Canon events, yeah.
It's sort of like that, but that doesn't have like that time travel aspect where if you went back and
I
guess there's an episode of Marvel's What If where Doctor Strange tries to stop the accident that caused his hands to get hurt, but that turns out to be like a canon. So he can go back in time and he can change everything else, but he can't change this one moment, which is a lot more akin to that Spider-Verse thing. This is not a theory I'm finding prior examples of just in my own memory banks, but like the idea that key moments in time are what make our history, and deviations outside of that aren't actually impactful. If you want to create a new timeline, you have to affect one of these key moments.
I am also having trouble thinking of examples of that, but I know they exist. This is something This is something that I've encountered in fiction. I at the moment, I can't remember where.
you'dmisspod@gmail.com will probably tell you you're wrong.
Yeah, we like doing that.
The other concept that really drives me nuts is they go back 100 years to stop Renak.
Yes.
But he's still going to torture Lucas Stank for the next 100 years. Lucas is still cursed with Renak's presence.
Right.
What did they go back in time to do?
You're right. What are they doing?
And why is this 100-year event that has to happen in time?
Well, Louis Stank has to be cursed.
But why?
I don't know. But he has to, and we have to let him. But
in order for us to have discovered Elizabeth's powers.
But
because she is prophesied.
Now
that's the other aspect here. There are prophecies involved. There are prophecies that have to be fulfilled.
Right, but
which I guess lines up with the moment.
It seems as if Elizabeth's prophecy goes far beyond this. Right? They're still calling her the chosen one or whatever after this story. So, but you're right. Like if Alpha Flight isn't here, who?
I think
so. They don't stall him for 5 minutes, allowing for Lucas Stank to put his necklace in the bullet. Literally all Alpha Flight do in this thing is stall Renak for 5 minutes.
Yeah.
That is the only thing they affect here.
And then he gets shot in the head.
By Louis Stank, who was already there.
Yeah, but we learn that Renak, that doesn't kill...
And the nude man is the one who tells him that he has to solve this. So, like, Alpha Flight does almost nothing here.
They travel back in time. They come back.
Yeah, they don't really... They fight Renak. He kicks their asses. And then gets shot in the head by somebody who was already there. You're right.
Like, when they return back to the timeline, they still fought that scrambled egg monster.
Yes. Yeah, this story's ridiculous.
They do their best to dance around the scrambled egg monster, by the way. When they're recapping what happened last issue, they're like, it was a monster. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, man, this story is nonsensical. I hadn't even, I have trouble piecing together time travel stuff like that. Oftentimes when I read time travel stories, I have a lot of trouble thinking in that fourth dimension and thinking like, okay, what would be different?
I wish that I have a burden where when I read any time travel story, I have to be able to loop the logic around. It can be tenuous, but I have to be able to draw the lines.
I also have that trouble with, I think, maybe any story, because I had that same, it took me, I think I had to read a blog post about it before I realized, after watching Indiana Jones 1,000 times as a kid.
Okay.
I had to read a blog post before I realized that Indiana Jones affected the events of Raiders of the Lost Ark 0%. He's present for everything, and he fails at everything he tries. And nothing, if you remove him from the story, absolutely everything happens exactly the same.
Everything happens the same.
Yes.
Yeah. He's just an observer.
He's just an observer. But they,
which is a true archaeologist's job, right?
They get defeated by opening the coffin, not by.
Yeah. It's not anything that Indy does.
So that sort of cause and effect of the protagonists of a story, I have trouble following.
So, hey, this is Alpha Flight's Raiders of the Lost Ark. That's exciting, huh?
Yeah. Well,
it's a really cool time travel art out of it.
Speaking of treasures, ancient treasures,
are
you ready, Pat, for me to move on to Alpha Flight number 20?
Yes.
It's called Gold. It's called Gold and Love Affairs. It's by John Byrne, who wrote and artisted this. Keith Williams does the background inks. That's new.
Who?
Rick Parker letters it, and Yankus is the colorist. Denny O'Neil is the editor. What?
He's actually going by Dennis O'Neil starting in this issue.
Oh, Jesus. He's grown up. Jackie Shumway is the editor-in-chief, and it was released on December 4th, 1984, cover date March 1985. Sasquatch is tearing a hole in a mountain to help a construction company create a new river or something like that. Either way, it takes him just a few hours to accomplish several months worth of work. The crew and foremen thank him for his help just as Aurora flies onto the scene in her hot new outfit. It's essentially a one-piece swimsuit with boots.
Yeah, and sleeves on it.
Yeah, like ragged sleeves. The construction guys all ask if they can have sex with her, and she starts teasing them. Well, we'll return to that.
Okay.
Which frustrates Sasquatch. His frustration makes her mad, and she flies off. He skulks off to find her. So, yes, she arrives. The construction workers are like, hey, will you have sex with all of us?
Hey, nice to meet you. Can we have sex? Like, there's nothing in between.
Yeah, they're like, I hear you're a lady who's a good time. Can you share some of that good time with us? And she says yes and kisses them.
Yeah.
And then Sasquatch says, "You're just teasing them, aren't you, Aurora?" And she's like, "You have a way of taking all the fun out of everything," and flies away. So her answer was yes, she was going to fuck all these guys.
No, she was teasing them.
He says she's teasing them.
She got mad once he said she's just teasing you. Like because she's throwing a tantrum that he took all the fun out of her.
No, he screams, "Aren't you, Aurora?" at her. It's in a jagged word bubble. He yells at her.
Well, yeah, I think it's meant to be frustrated.
I think she was going to fuck all of them.
All right, listeners, you make the call.
And like she open mouth kisses one of them.
She does, yeah. She's European. She's from France.
Oh, yeah, that's what happens. If you go to France, everyone open mouth kisses you. Cut to Heather Hudson McDonald's estranged parents' house.
Called a French kiss.
Where she, Snowbird, Shaman, Puck, and Talisman have all gathered to talk about their vast responsibilities that comes with Elizabeth Two Young Men's new powers. She rejects the idea and tries to remove the coronet of enchantment. That's that tiara she put on her head from Shaman's bag. It causes her to cry out in pain. Shaman finally explains the curse of her destiny. She can't reject it. The crown cannot be removed. Oops, sorry, forgot. I forgot you're stuck this way forever when I told you to do it.
Thing to do as a father. No wonder they were estranged for 10 years. Tell her about the curse.
Well, he's such a dick. Everybody in Alpha Flight is such a dick.
Tell your dads out there, tell your daughters about any curses that you're bestowing upon them.
In the kitchen, Heather and Puck have a tender conversation as Puck knows just what to say to help Heather through what's clearly bothering her. Her husband died, and now she's leading a whole new life. She's glad he's here to offer wisdom and friendship, she tells him, as she walks off to call Walter and finally get the gang back together.
All that's missing is Walter and Aurora.
Mm-hmm. Because North Star said no.
Yeah, North Star's out.
The best member of the team. Well, the second best member of the team. Puck is best.
Yeah.
Shaman walks in at that moment and tells Judd his feelings for Heather are clear and appear to be reciprocal. God damn it, Shaman. He's like, Puck, Heather's a vulnerable lady right now, and I just want to make sure you're being sensitive to that. And Puck's like, yeah, I'm not going to take advantage of any vulnerable ladies. And Shaman's like, no.
No.
If she wants you to take advantage of her, you have to do it.
Do it.
She will soon need someone strong and good and kind to give as much of themselves to her as she needs. It's unclear if this is another prophecy or if he's just talking about the general effects of grief. I tend to think it is the latter. He's just like, hey.
I'm pretty sure that's what he's saying too. But what if this has larger implications? What if he's like, I've seen the future, or I've read the prophecy, and Heather isn't going to make it through without a new partner.
I've been through 10,000 different realities, and only one do we win. I don't actually know what
the one where you and Heather bone down.
Cut to Vancouver, where Walter and Aurora cruise across the Straits of Juan de Fuca in a speedboat. Walter in a sweater and sport coat, Aurora in a bikini and a shawl. Fucking Walter Lankowski fucking cosplaying as a boat captain. He's got like a captain's hat on with an anchor on it. And he's like, oh, my parents bought me this boat, you fucking rich kid bitch.
Right? On top of everything else.
Yeah. Yeah, and
he's like rich.
He's like, we're off to the mansion that my parents owned on this island my whole childhood. Fuck
right.
you.
Fuck off, dude.
And my parents, we've owned it this whole time, but we've never been to it because my mom was like, I don't like this place. That's fucking...
Yeah.
All right, anyway. They arrive at their destination, a Victorian mansion in the woods. Turns out this is Walter's by inheritance, bastard, after his great aunt, who is mysteriously widowed 8 separate times, built it. Why can't we just... All right. This is the conceit of so many pieces of fiction that, like, I am against the prison industrial complex, except for I, from now on, think if somebody is widowed more than 4 times, even if there seems to be legitimate reasons for all the widowings, you go to jail. You go to jail and you stay
Just
in jail forever.
automatically.
Yeah, whether you're male or female, if your spouses die, more than 4 spouses die, even if we have documented evidence that you are innocent, you're in jail forever.
You're doing something wrong.
Yeah, we know there's some secret thing you're doing that'll come out when you're 79 years old, and like when a random detective visits your house on a at a dinner party.
Unless you marry that detective.
Ooh. So this basically he's trying to convince her will make the perfect home base for the reunited Alpha Flight. Walter starts giving Aurora a tour of the place, noting that it's tidy and cared for despite being abandoned, when he slips through a false wall with a big whoops.
You're supposed to be a superhero, man. Uh-oh.
Aurora, alone and panicking, watches the lights dim and eventually go out around her, leaving her in complete darkness. Again, 2 pages of no art.
Of just black panels.
She freaks out as her thoughts eventually turn to words. This, she says, is exactly how the nuns used to pull the Jean-Marie personality out of her when Aurora's personality took over as a child, locking her in a dark closet until the rebellious side of her broke. In this long stint with Aurora fully in charge, she's recently felt Jean-Marie becoming stronger and stronger within her, occasionally breaking through to the surface. Aurora and Jean-Marie start fighting with each other in the dark, and there have been comments by Walters in his thoughts, and sort of evidence in the text that Aurora, who normally speaks in flawless English, has been slipping into a French accent and French colloquialisms.
Yes. Walter wonders if there's a third personality emerging, which is scientifically not very sound.
What do you mean? That's how it works. What do you mean?
Oh,
That's
okay.
exactly how...
I'm not a doctor. He is, so...
Yeah. Don't question the brilliance of Walter Lankowski. And we're only going to find out through this series, through this episode, that Walter Lankowski is just so brilliant. And everything he does is right and smart.
Can't wait.
A door opens as Aurora walks back into the light, finding herself in a hall with 8 golden statues. It's cool art. John Byrne still fucking got it art-wise. As she investigates the statues, noting that Walter's great-grandmother had been married 8 times, one of the statues opens its eyes. She screams and stumbles backwards into a woman in a white cloak with a golden face, calling herself Gilded Lily.
She's like, hello, I'm Lily Lankowski. You could call me Gilded Lily because she's gold.
She's gold. Walter's here too, by the way. He's already a gold statue himself. To be continued.
What?
What?
Okay.
What?
We get a Haunted Mansion episode. This is
Gilded Lily's kind of cool. Like, she looks cool, even if she's a complete 100% ripoff of Gene Colan's Madame Mask.
Yeah, she absolutely is. But Madame Mask looks cool too.
Madame Mask looks cool. They both look cool, and her face is even shinier than Madame Mask's because it's gold, and she's got like a robot hand.
Oh, what's Madame Mask's mask made of?
I don't know, like bronze or steel or something, but it's got rivets all around it. Remember?
Yeah. Madame Mask's mask. Madame Mask's mask.
I liked this issue.
Yeah, this is fun.
Not much happens in it.
It's very silly. There's a lot of... Is silly the word for it? There's a lot of fluff.
There's 5 pages. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 pages of Sasquatch just clearing out part of a forest. Silently.
Just him tearing trees out of the ground and hitting stuff with them. And it really is. I have no idea what it is he's trying to accomplish here. Well,
they say he created they can build here now because there's water and the land is clear. So he's clearing the land and creating a river.
Yeah. Okay.
So I don't know. Yeah. Now, I'm not saying that makes a lot of sense. I'm just saying that is textually what he's doing.
But there's 2 or 3 pages total of them just being on a boat while John Byrne writes a story in the margins.
Yeah, I mean, he just wanted to draw Aurora's butt.
Yeah. There's no reason for her to be. There will be a story reason next issue for her to be scantily clad.
Is that in 2 issues? Well, yeah.
Any other thoughts here, Matt, or should we keep on moving?
Yeah, I want to see Gilded Lily in action doing cool stuff. Like, she's going to be a cool supervillain, and she'll probably stick around for the rest of Alpha Flight's. Like, because that's one thing, John Byrne has not created like a rogues gallery yet, right?
Yeah. Especially with a familial connection to Alpha Flight,
a backstory, connection, an evil lair. This is going to be great.
All right, let's get into it. Alpha Flight number 21. Love Wrought New Alchemy.
This is a line from a John Donne poem. John Donne. His name is spelled Donne, but I think it's pronounced John Dunn, but it always makes me mad.
Dunn.
Yeah, I guess it has to do with the accent of the time.
Yeah,
so it'd be John Dunn.
John Byrne, story and pencils, Bob Wyacek, inker, and he Yankus, coloring, Rick Parker, lettering, Dennis O'Neill, editor, and Jim Penis, editor-in-chief. Release date January 2nd, 1985, Matt. This was released in 1985. Cover date April 1985.
Wow. Aurora. We're getting closer.
Aurora clings to the gold-plated body of Walter Lankowski, demanding answers from Gilded Lily. She gives her backstory. 100 years ago, she and her new husband Lionel were driving their old-timey car through Transylvania when they crashed and Lionel died. She made her way to a big stone castle and collapsed. When she woke up, she was in a fancy bed and a kind gentleman named Esteban Diablo had been waiting for her. That's Spanish for Stephen Devil.
Did you know who this guy was?
No idea.
Esteban Corazon Diablo, aka Diablo. He is a Fantastic Four villain from the 1960s.
Yes. She told him about Lionel, and he led her to his basement where he reveals himself to be the 1,000-year-old alchemist known as Diablo.
Yeah, also, Diablo.
While she was unconscious, he apparently fell in love with her.
Fucking Christ.
She fell in love back.
What?
And over the next
She was unconscious.
And over the next year, he taught her about alchemy. It ended when the villagers formed a mob, destroyed his underground lab, and locked him in it until the Fantastic Four eventually find him in Fantastic Four number 30.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
They also like, they seem to burn it down, but he's fine. I don't know.
He seems like a problematic guy. Lily makes her way back to England, where she continues studying alchemy and learns how to transmute things into gold. She did it.
She did it. She solved alchemy. There's two things alchemy is trying to do. This has always been the funniest fucking thing to me. There's two things alchemy has ever been trying to do. One, turn things into gold. Two, come up with eternal life. The formula for eternal life. And if you do either one of those, you've done alchemy.
That's why we do it in the first place, folks. It's got to be like every 5 to 10 years in the Marvel universe that somebody discovers the secret to transmuting objects into gold.
And it always turns out to be a good idea. It always works out for everybody.
She goes back to Transylvania, marries one of the angry mob guys, and turns him into a gold statue still alive within. She did this 7 more times until the entire mob was gold. So they would come around looking for their friend, and she'd be like, I haven't seen him, but would you like to get married?
Yeah. The first guy is fun. It's so funny. The first guy, he is in the middle of undressing to bone on their wedding night.
Yeah, it's
And so he spends the rest of eternity with his pants unbuckled.
Yeah. Then she settled here where she will now make her first gold lady when she can figure out a cool pose for Aurora.
Yeah, she has to do the Batman villain bullshit. She's like, rather than touching you with my hand, which turns you to gold, I'm going to take you to my laboratory and slowly lower you into a pit of molten gold.
Walter wakes up in the statue and breaks out when he transforms into Sasquatch. Why didn't you do that in the first place?
Well, they imply he was unconscious, but yeah.
Well, why not the moment you're slipping through that wall?
Right. You go, whoops, I guess I better be Sasquatch now, right.
But when he transforms into Sasquatch, 1,500 miles away, Snowbird crashes from the sky and wonders what the fuck just happened.
What just happened? Why am I was just being normal. I was flying like normal.
Anyway, Walter searches the house and bursts in on Gilded Lily, about to dip Aurora into a boiling vat of gold. Gilded Lily with Madame Mask's mask. Gilded Lily with Madame Mask's mask. Lily throws a potion on the ground and the rocks start attacking Sasquatch. He bursts through and starts smashing up the alchemy lab when Lily starts to flee. He grabs hold of her cloak and rips it off.
This rules.
Revealing her to be a golden robot with some casing on her chest for organs or something.
Describe this robot. Describe this robot.
She looks like a Jetsons robot. Like she's got a single wheel with a pole sticking out of it into a torso with like robot arms.
And the bottom of the torso kind of represents hip bones. And then it builds into what looks like a glass case with a giant brain in it, but we never get close enough to see like what's actually in this. It seems just like organs and junk.
Yeah. Whatever the idea here is, it's very cool.
It's so cool looking. So I'm glad that she's going to be around forever to be a really cool Alpha Flight villain.
Yeah. What an interesting introduction to this standard character,
which is why they gave her 2 issues so that we would learn all about her thing and we'd get used to her. And it's like, okay, now Gilded Lily is a part of the Marvel universe
and she's about to fight. You ready?
Yes.
Sasquatch grabs the robot and pulls its face off, revealing that underneath Lily was still partly human and alive.
Whoa.
Ugh.
So cool.
It's fucking gnarly.
It's gnarly.
I know we've talked about this before, but he rips the mask off and she's like, no, please stop. That's my actual face. And like they expose the, they show like her exposed underskin face. It is wild. And then Sasquatch just goes, whoa. It is like but as her face is exposed to the air, she crumbles into dust. So does her robot body.
Wait.
And so does the whole lab.
Wait, what?
When Walter I think she dies. I think that's what we're supposed to...
No! Why did we read this? Come on! We have the first good villain in all of fucking Alpha Flight! No!
When Walter and Aurora escape, the dust settles. They find that the majority of the mansion is still perfectly intact and that all the furnishings and stuff inside have disappeared. Walter wonders why Aurora didn't use her powers to escape Lily earlier and surmises that there must be a third personality emerging between Jean-Marie and Aurora. Oh. To be continued.
Damn it. You killed my only friend.
It's so stupid. Why would you continue to stay here after a villain ambushed and defeated you?
And
just
the
because you can't find a sign of the torture lab that was here before.
And the house is clearly part of her magic, right? Because so much of the house disappeared. So, like,
Right.
how much of this house is actually like an evil construct?
Exactly. And the whole setup we got for it
They're
being
like, let's
like
move in.
a creepy haunted house. Maybe they'll go. Maybe he's taking it in like a poltergeist direction.
They're like, let's move in. Well, I mean, it's similar to Lee Forrester or the X-Men being like, let's live in this creepy Cthulhu island.
Oh yeah, sure. I guess so.
Yeah. Also, this just continues to show how little John Byrne cares about Alpha Flight, right? Not only does he keep doing like pages and pages and pages where he doesn't do anything. He's either reprinting old material or there's no drawings or there's no words. Like,
yeah.
he'll only do half an issue ever.
Very few pages where there's no words.
But he's also not like he brought Diablo into this. He just keeps bringing Fantastic Four villains in, right? Remember when like he brought and just Fantastic Four characters, Namor and Invisible Woman were in the first arc.
Yeah,
and
the
then,
fake Human Torch.
Right, and the Super Skrull
That turned out to be a Super Skrull.
and now Diablo. He just doesn't want to create he's just like he's only doing this out of contractual obligation. He hates doing Alpha Flight.
Can you believe his name is actually Steven Diablo?
Well,
Why
his
wouldn't you
name.
come up with something more subtle for if you were a villain?
Well, it's so funny. His name is Esteban Corazon
Mhm.
de
Mhm.
Ablo.
Oh, it's like a Tom Morrow sort of thing.
Yeah, it's not that though. It's just the worst.
That's pretty bad, yeah. But that's Silver Age. That's not John Byrne's fault. Unless he just came up with it for this story. Like, unless this wasn't part of Diablo's background before.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, he's also writing Fantastic Four at this time. So,
well, we're not following Fantastic Four.
And we refuse to. All right, Patrick.
Yeah.
I would love to tell you about this little comic book I read. Just this week. It was Alpha Flight number 20. You want it?
I would love that.
Okay, yeah, it's Alpha Flight number 22. It's called Rub Out.
Ew.
It's written and drawn by John Byrne, embellished by Bob Wyachek, colored by and Yankas, lettered by Rick Parker, edited by Dennis O'Neill. And the editor-in-chief is Joseph of Nazareth. Release date January 29th, 1985. Cover date May 1985.
May 1985.
What? Yeah? What's up?
No, just echoing your thoughts here.
We open on North Star, opening the door to his house, only to find Jean Marie. She insists he call her Jean Marie, coming in from the cold in only a bikini.
This is where it's relevant, because that's concerning.
This personality has missed him and needs his help. When he asks about Walter, Jean Marie is disgusted by her alternate personality's behavior and explains what happened. There's a second here I took a note because he's like, weren't you living with Walter? And she was like, how dare you? And it was like, this again, like he's saying facts. He's not impugning your character, but then she apologizes, and I was like, okay, fine.
Yeah, very reasonable.
After the incident in the haunted mansion, Walter was escorting them back to the mainland via boat. She was still barely wearing anything, shivering from the cold. Then he couldn't find clothes. Then Walter started kissing her and putting his hands on her. Jean Marie was disgusted by this. Only Aurora is interested in Walter and immediately flew away in just her bikini. She flew through the snow like this for 3 straight days until she arrived here at her brother's house.
3 days.
I want to say she must not be very vulnerable to cold if she can fly through the northern reaches of Canada in the snow, way high up in the sky in a bikini for 3 days.
Well, so she does actually in the 2 issues ago, she does mention that like typically she is always acclimated to the weather, so it doesn't matter what she's wearing.
Right.
But with Jean Marie coming through a little stronger, like more recently, she's been feeling more vulnerable to the weather.
But yeah, so
Which is
but
weird.
weird, right? I agree. But also what I'm saying is like not so vulnerable to the weather that she can't fly across tundras way high up in the air in a bikini for 3 days.
Well, she can't even fly as Jean Marie. So like
Right. So this
it's
is
all
strange that
it's
Jean Marie has powers now, right?
in the first place. Yeah. So it's
But
all
she is I see what you're saying, but she is cold. She is complaining that she's cold.
Yeah,
She's
yeah.
not.
But she hasn't sustained damage from it.
Yeah. North Star has the lady friend roommate that lives at his house. They
Yeah. Go off, King.
it's just this thing like this guy and his sister live at North Star's house. And they're just friends who just live at North Star's house. And it's, again, very, like we talked about last time, very clearly, they just can't say he's gay. So
they
it's
can't
like
say this is his boyfriend.
he has a live-in boyfriend, but to make it not his boyfriend, there's also a girl there. So you could have plausible deniability. And
Which
whatever.
Which wasn't uncommon for the time for a gay man to have to like figure out a way to make their living situation presentable or
right,
not
so like
gay.
their boyfriend's sister might move in, so it's like people can draw the conclusions, oh, he's dating her and the brother is living there rather than the reverse. Yeah,
Right. So it's
right.
But not to say that like you should still in a comic book be able to say this, oh yeah, and this guy's gay.
Yes.
But
which they won't be able to do until like the fucking 90s, and then Scott Lobdell gets in trouble for it. He like has to sneak it in, and then he gets in trouble.
Yeah.
Anyway, while this lady, what's her name too? Rhonda. While Rhonda's taking Jean Marie to bed, he wonders if this could be a regression of her schizophrenia, one combining the behaviors of Jean Marie with the access to power that Aurora has. If they're getting along again, maybe he could even rejoin Alpha Flight.
Wouldn't that rule?
Yeah, well, what he seems to be saying though here, I think that is a thought, right? That is a thought that we have when we're reading this. But what he's saying here is, what if me and Aurora could be a team outside of Alpha Flight? What if I could still be a superhero and I don't have to go back to stupid fucking Alpha Flight?
Oh, I read it differently. Readers, you make the call.
We cut to Vancouver, where Heather and Elizabeth walk through the rain, wondering what's taking Walter so long to get to them. The conversation is interrupted, though, when Heather sees the face of James McDonald in the crowd. How would she know?
What?
He's just the most normal-looking guy.
He does just look like an average dude.
Like, guy. She shouts and chases after him, but the man runs away, and Heather trips in her pursuit. Elizabeth follows to pick her up and remind her that, yo, your husband is dead.
It's a little insensitive. She's like, your husband, but isn't he dead?
Cut back to North Star taking his sister to the circus.
Ooh.
Yeah, just that's what you do when your sister shows up out of nowhere.
Let's go to the circus.
Hey, why don't I just take you to the circus real quick? This isn't a visit for pleasure, though. Oh. Jean-Paul received a letter from an old friend asking for his help. As they pull up, this old friend, Clementine d'Arbenville, runs up and open mouth kisses him. A lot of this here.
There's a point later where Aurora is trying to explain to someone what happened, and she goes, he was with a woman.
After introduction, she gets down to her request for help. She runs a circus. Okay. And recently hired a new 1,000-pound woman, Pink Pearl. Ever since, her performers have been plagued by mysterious injuries. And each time, Pearl has just happened to have a friend that could replace him. The human skeleton, the strongman, the bearded lady. They've all been replaced by her associates. At that moment, Pearl busts through the door and punches Clem square in the face, telling her she should have kept her mouth shut about all this. There is a demon bear panel here where Clem is small in the foreground of the panel.
Oh my God, yeah.
And the rest of the page is taken up by Pink Pearl. So instead of a giant demon bear, it's just a fat woman.
She is just for a little context here, because you didn't mention it in your recap here, Matt. She is
sorry. I should have thought about this.
An extremely large woman in a very form-fitting pink dress, and like a big blonde beehive hairdo.
For her, she kind of looks like the Trunchbull from Matilda if the Trunchbull gained, I don't know, 400 pounds.
Yeah, sure. But also with muscle.
Well, like the Trunchbull, yes.
Yeah,
she's got muscle. She's covered in fat, and she has a skin tight pink dress on with frills. Looks kind of like a nightie. She sicks her skeleton man on North Star, wrapping him up before he can react. This guy rules. Wrapping him before he can react, and then smothers Jean Marie in her breast until Jean Marie passes out.
I love this.
Yeah, this the skeleton man just wraps himself around like a fucking...
He's like a contortionist, and he just ties it like Reed Richards would, ties him in a knot.
It looks so cool. And Jean-Paul is so fucking fashionable in his sweater vest and his fucking blue striped shirt with white collar and his tie and his great hair. Man, and then this guy wrapped around. This issue is so cool looking.
It's extreme. Also, a very cool little character note about the skeleton man. He calls everybody Tubby. he's got Jean-Paul locked up. Jean-Paul is a professional athlete. He is not in any way a chubby man, but the skeleton man wraps him up and he's like, "Be still, fatso." Because he's tiny. He's like,
Also, another visual note, Jean Marie's new hair sucks ass.
Yeah, it's like they would call it the Karen cut these days, right?
It's bad enough when it was the Aurora, like the way Aurora styles it. But then Jean Marie like slicks it back and tucks it behind her ear. And it looks like absolute shit. It looks like somebody forgot to draw the rest of her hair.
Her face gets straight, like John Byrne stretches her face out when she does that. Like her hair is so tight back that her face is affected by it.
Yeah, it looks so rough. Cut to Moose Jaw, Saskatchewan, where we get a sneak peek of the new box robot in action that Roger Box and Madison Jeffries rebuilt together. It looks fucking rad.
It does look rad. It's made of living metal.
Yeah, I forgot to mention this in my recap, but there's it's unclear if this... What's that?
You don't have to say it like that. It's okay.
It's unclear. I don't think this is a Roger Box power, right? I think this is the power of the suit.
Yes.
Where you can phase in and out of it.
But only Roger Box can. It's like, it's a metal that's attuned to his, they didn't say DNA, but I would assume DNA.
Yeah, so nobody else can take it over ever again. But yeah, he can phase in and out of it. And remember, Roger Box he's got a tubby torso and a tubby face, but big muscly arms and no legs.
Yeah. And they note, Madison Jeffries makes a point of pointing out that, like, he's going to be in the suit now, not controlling the suit from a computer room nearby, which means that if the suit gets hurt, he gets hurt. If the suit loses an arm, he loses an arm.
Yeah.
And he's like, hell yeah, brother.
And and for visual reference, Madison Jeffries looks like a fucking cool Canadian redneck.
Yes.
Like, just the coolest. He's cool. I
Just
love
like a scumbag.
like a scumbag that you'd be like, I love this guy. I love this guy.
Your favorite scumbag.
Like, I'm happy. Like, when you, the sort of scumbag that walks into the room and you're like, yes, I'm so glad he's here today.
Yeah.
Back to the circus, where Clem, Jean-Paul, and Jean-Marie are tied up as Pearl explains her master plan. She's got a low-grade nuclear device that she's been hiding here under the circus tent with enough firepower to blow up the whole surrounding town. And in just a few days, this town is hosting a meeting between the Prime Minister of Canada and the President of America to agree on implementing a new missile defense system. Pearl's employers, which they heavily imply is like either revolutionaries or, well, probably the Soviets. I think it's...
Yeah, probably the Russians. It's mid-'80s.
Pearl's employers don't want that to happen, so she's going to blow them up. Not her employers, the president and the prime minister.
Yeah.
If that wasn't clear. What's worse, Pearl knows about Clem's background as a slightly violent revolutionary. It's one battle after another.
Yeah.
Clem,
she retired from her revolutionary ways and started a circus.
Yeah, and so did North Star. He retired and became a professional skier. He was also a member of this group, which we already knew from a previous issue.
Right.
And the feds will find the same background when they dig into the explosion and pin it all on her. Aurora now... Yeah. If I tie myself to somebody that I know is already has terrorist leanings, and then I do something criminal, they'll assume it was the terrorist.
They're going to go right to her, yeah.
Aurora, now speaking plain English, reveals that she and her brother are members of Alpha Flight and calls North Star into action. The two start flying around, beating the shit out of circus freaks with guns.
I love seeing just like a bearded woman with a Tommy gun.
Getting just kicked in the face by a glowing Aurora flying in the air. And fucking North Star just looking so cool with his hands tied behind his back. God damn.
Just zipping around, kicking folk.
Yeah. Pearl manages to tackle Aurora, though, and insists on torturing her, holding her up so the skeleton man can start throwing daggers at her.
Yeesh.
But as he winds up, Clem tackles him, and the knife goes off target, striking Pearl straight in the chest. She collapses.
It's one of those comic book isms where Aurora's like, she's alive. I know she just got stabbed in the chest and the knife is lodged in there, but it's lodged in the fat.
She said, oh, it hit the fat. And if a knife goes into your fat and not your heart, you don't fall over like you're dead.
She got stabbed in the fucking heart.
The knife is in her heart. A short time later, the authorities wrap up the situation while North Star and Aurora catch up. Aurora is disgusted by Jean-Marie's weakness and would never have gone running back to Jean-Paul. But now that she knows he has ties to slightly violent revolutionaries, she's going to make sure he's never welcome in Alpha Flight again!
Kind of a shame. I really thought like this was going to be an evolution where Jean-Marie and Jean-Paul start working together again. But ultimately we're back to status quo by the end of this.
I can't believe that John Byrne can't think of anything better to do with them. Like, he introduces this duo and the first and only thought he has for them is break them up.
Break them up. Yeah.
All right, Pat, I'm freaking bored. Why don't you tell me about a comic book you read recently?
No, Matt, I'm freaking bored, so I'm going to tell you about a comic book I read recently.
All right, it always has to be your way. I'll listen.
This is called Alpha Flight number 23, Night of the Beast.
Sounds interesting. I'll listen.
John Byrne, story and pencils, Bob Wyachek embellishing, Keith Williams inking assistant, and he Yankus coloring, Rick Parker lettering, Danny O'Neill. We're back to Danny O'Neill.
Yeah, he tried it out and he was like, no, I sound like a conceited prick.
I sound like an accountant. He's our editor. And then finally, Chimp Shumai, editor-in-chief. Release date March 5th, 1985.
Shumai?
Cover date June 1985. I had Chinese food for dinner. Our issue opens on Narya, aka Snowbird's true form, amidst a field of spikes, being tortured by the gods of the north. She begs for answers, and the gods say that she has betrayed them. How, she asks. I was put on the earth to go fight the great beasts, and I've defeated everyone I've come across.
Yeah.
Everyone, the gods ask, and show her the form of Sasquatch.
What?
Anne wakes in a panic back in Snowbird form on Doug Thompson's couch, where she explains to him in order to vindicate herself, she must destroy one of her closest friends.
Okay. Okay, we got Doug Thompson back.
Doug Thompson's back.
He's wearing a gold chain and a white t-shirt. Sasquatch is one of Snowbird's closest friends.
Well, she did. No, yeah, I don't know where they formed that relationship. Poor Doug Thompson, just to like trying to console your girlfriend, and she's like, there's nothing you can do. I have to go kill one of my closest friends.
It's like, God damn it. I used to just be a cop.
Yeah. At the gym, Puck is wrestling with Talisman, teaching her some moves. She's apparently part of the team now.
Yeah.
Walter Lankowski shows up, concerned about Heather, believing she saw Mac last issue. They discuss how unlikely it is that if any of Alpha Flight died, they'd come back to life like the big superheroes.
Yeah.
A bit of a nod to the audience here from John Byrne.
Like, yeah, these guys, when these guys die, they don't come back, but
They die.
It's also maybe a bit of foreshadowing.
Or do they?
Or do they? It's interesting that Walter Lankowski is saying this.
Suddenly, Aurora zips in to tell everyone that there's a big supervillain trashing downtown Vancouver.
Finally!
The gang's back together.
And there's a supervillain. For once, Alpha Flight
has their own guy to fight as a full team.
Yes, okay.
It's
all
happened.
Right.
It took
we thought it was gonna be fucking Gilded Lily. It's not. So now there's a supervillain.
There's a new guy. And it has been more than a year since we last saw the full team together. I got so geeked when I finally saw everybody in the same room for a moment here. When they get there, a big armored man named Caliber is blasting some cop cars with his giant arm guns.
All right.
He's thrilled to see Alpha Flight to give him a real challenge and blasts Sasquatch in the chest. Somehow, the blast actually hurts Walter, and while he recovers, Puck and Talisman distract Caliber, and Aurora blinds him with a big flash of light.
So Talisman's power here is just kind of my hands glow a little. She's like, look over here, look here.
Sasquatch recovers and trashes the dude, then stomps off to be alone while he tends to his wound. Everyone is concerned as he's been going through those weird rages more and more every time he's injured. In that moment, Snowbird swoops in, morphs into a giant snow owl, and plunges her talons into Walter's chest. Aurora leaps into action, but the two women are quickly swatted away as Sasquatch recovers. A strange Shakespearean voice emanates from Sasquatch as he thanks Aurora and proceeds to strangle her with her own scarf. Talisman senses magic and rushes in to try and control the mystic forces surrounding the seemingly possessed Sasquatch.
After she tells Puck, go tend to the bird girl.
She doesn't know her name. It's also very funny for her to be like, they're in a situation where there's no magic being fired at her. So she's like, Actually,
I
this is
found
an
magic.
ancient magic ground that they just built over, so I can pull magic here.
I found some magic. Everybody, don't worry. I found some magic.
With a distorted, demonic face, Sasquatch smiles, and Talisman collapses in pain. He's somehow resisting her magically, and it's draining her energy away. As this is happening, Snowbird explains to Puck that Sasquatch was never truly Walter Lankowski. Walter was in the far north trying to replicate the Gamma accident that transformed Bruce Banner into the Hulk, as we all know, when he suddenly found himself able to transform into Sasquatch instead. He believed this meant his experiments were a success, but what actually happened was that his Gamma experiments weakened the barrier that imprisoned the great beasts. In that time, a great beast called Tanarak passed through and took refuge in Walter's body. When Walter was under stress or in danger or angry, Tanarak would take control and, with each transformation, gained strength over Walter's personality. Now he has fully broken through and taken over Walter's body entirely.
So Walter's only accomplishment in life turns out to have actually been a complete failure. And
the Sasquatch thing wasn't even a scientific advancement. It was a demon.
A god was looking at him. A demon god was looking at him and going, this guy's such a fucking rube. I'll make him think that this is his own power and I will possess him. I can use this idiot.
And then he just told everybody. He must have fudged the scientific results that he showed people to be like, see?
You're right. Oh my God. Yeah. Because he was like, here, look, this shows my cells mutating. But they did fucking, yeah. Do you think the great beasts all make fun of Tundra because he doesn't have a Q in his name?
Tundrak. What happened?
Kalamak, Rayanak, Talamak, and Tundra.
Just before we move on, this fucking rules. The idea that Sasquatch, who we thought was, well, you and I didn't, but who we're supposed to consider as a hero, actually made a huge fucking mistake. Yeah. And the power that he thought he had isn't his. It's actually someone corrupting him from inside.
And that he's been setting this up forever. Like, John Byrne actually has been setting up a plot and following through. Like, that's also cool.
Yes. Yeah, do you think that this was like the idea with him from day one?
I don't think day one, but it's at least been going on for the last 12 issues, right?
Oh, yeah, I guess once the Rages started, that was the...
Yeah.
Snowbird has an idea. Though Walter was not from the north, he nevertheless conducted his experiments there. So technically, Sasquatch is a beast of the north. And so Snowbird is able to transform herself into a white version of Sasquatch. Remember, she can only do white. And she dukes it out in a savage battle with Tanarak.
Okay. We're not going to be able to pause in a minute because we're going to get to a really dramatic moment. But what fucking... All right. We got to talk about Snowbird's powers. If you can change on a technicality, then there's something about your powers that isn't true, right? Like there's something like
nature doesn't work on technicalities. That's a
this is like she can transform into anything she wants. She just she refuses to do anything that's not a beast of the north, right? Like that has to be it, right?
What I mean, you could argue, and I'm arguing with myself here, that nature is all technicalities. So
right.
It is the hard interpretation of this rule that if this creature was created in Canada, her borders adhere to Canada. She just keeps saying the north.
Yeah, I think it is parts. I think it is specific parts of Canada. I think it has to be in like the very north, but I don't know what.
Yeah. Okay.
But also, like here's the thing. If she discovered, you know what? Actually, I just realized I can transform into, she wouldn't have to sit there and justify it to the audience, like to everybody watching, right? She would just fucking do it. So
Sure.
she has to sit there and go like, actually, you know what? I've been thinking about it, and I think you are technically, so I guess I could. This is just John Byrne.
We don't need you to debate it. We will believe you if you just say she turns into a Sasquatch.
Yes, yeah.
So the two of them fight. After a few minutes of destruction, Snowbird decides to end the battle by ripping out Sasquatch's fucking heart.
Literally, yeah.
The body of Walter Lankowski, transformed back into a human, falls to the ground dead.
Without a heart.
With a cavity in his chest.
They have him fall face down so we can't see it. And same with his heart. We can only see a little bit of red peeking through her hands.
Yeah. Aurora and Talisman react in shock and anger that Snowbird could do this to a friend, but she said it was necessary to destroy Walter's physical form while Tanarak had control of it. Wait, Puck notices. You said physical form.
Eh?
Aha! Snowbird basically says, you've solved my riddle. She tells them that Walter's soul likely still exists intact and they can save him if they travel to the Kingdom of the Beasts. To be continued.
Next episode.
I hope they don't save him.
Not next episode. Like 5 episodes from now.
Yeah.
Cliffhanger.
But, you could leave him be. He summoned a great demon god, an eldritch being, into this earthly plane.
And he sucks in every possible way.
Yeah. Remember when he killed all those people?
Yeah, he's like a rich kid jock, bad scientist with a massive ego. He's a bad superhero. He's a copycat. And he fucked up and summoned a great beast into the world.
Yeah. It's a sacrifice. And obviously nobody wants to make that sacrifice, but is it worth pulling all of Alpha Flight into whatever the land of the beasts is? That sounds above their weight class. Just let Walter die.
Just let Walter die. It's fine.
Let Walter die.
Let Walter die. Let Walter die. Let Walter die. All right. What'd you think of this arc?
So I enjoyed it. I had a lot of fun reading it. And we got our payoff with them reuniting at the end. They immediately start fighting each other, but that's to be expected.
Comics, yeah.
I think what concerns me, and I talked to you a little bit about this as I was reading through, but the one thing that I get this anxiety when I watch like a really cerebral television show or a movie that sets up all these strange things that can be explored, that they might not pay off. That like, I'm trying to think of an example where like in Game of Thrones, right? Okay. The show Game of Thrones, that lady in the metal mask shows up once and tells something to Arya, I think. Yes. And she looks rad as hell. I know she plays a stronger role in the books, but that never comes back up, right?
Not that much of a strong, but yes.
And it seemed like a thread we could follow somewhere. It seemed like something they planned on putting in the series later and then just forgot about. And that drives me nuts. I need my sci-fi to be like tight. If you are going to start exploring something, you need to conclude it somehow. I just need some closure on it. Don't leave hanging threads. And honestly, I don't trust John Byrne enough right now to not leave some of these threads hanging.
I mean, I think he is bringing some of these threads together here, right? We have
sure.
We have Snowbird's the weird shit that's been happening with Snowbird and the weird shit that's been happening with Sasquatch coming together
Yeah.
and lightly converging with Talisman, but not really. Yeah, I guess because there's the Talisman thread that's still hanging. There's the what was Mac's face doing in the crowd thread that's still hanging. If that's
Right.
actually a thread, or if that's just Heather being in grief. We have
Marina. The hell's going on with Marina?
Marina's just still gone. We have
North Star and Aurora and their relationship.
Whatever's happening with
trying to work
Aurora. Through. Yeah. So yeah, you're right. There's a lot that's still up in the air. And are they gonna move into this house or not? Yeah. But I see what you're saying.
Still very fun. It's just some of the storylines are starting to amble along a little bit. Sometimes we're just checking on people just for them to say hi.
I'm going to ask you a question. How many issues do you think John Byrne has left?
This seems like if he is building to something, it seems like we are about to get there. So okay. I can't imagine, being that we're on issue 23. We're coming up on 2 years of this Alpha Flight run.
That he didn't want to do in the first place.
Yeah. I wouldn't be surprised if he leaves soon.
If you had to just like,
I don't know, 10 issues.
10 issues. Okay. All right.
We'll find out. Keep listening.
So I think there's something really interesting going on here on a sort of deeper level. And I want us to plummet a little bit because, all right. The question is, we've been wondering, what does John Byrne think about Alpha Flight? What does he think, that they are failures? Does he think that they're losers? Right. Or does he think this is a superhero team and he doesn't quite realize that every story he writes about them has them failing and sucking and fighting with each other and being egotists and coming up short?
Right. Because it's so reminiscent of like the way that Silver Age comic book writers wrote characters.
Right. And then, what does he think about Walter Lankowski? Does he realize Walter Lankowski is a total loser and a jerk and an idiot?
Right. Yeah.
And I think, on some level, Walter Lankowski feels to me like one of the John Byrne inserts. And the other John Byrne insert to me is Puck.
Ooh.
And these are the sort of two things that John Byrne thinks about himself. He thinks of himself as this Ernest Hemingway, deep intellectual, smart guy, right?
Yeah.
But he also thinks of himself as this handsome hero, or maybe this is what he wants to be, this handsome hero genius who is rich and gets beautiful women all the time.
Oh, so you think he sees Walter Lankowski as someone admirable that he sees in himself?
Yes, and he sees himself more as Puck, and like as a guy who is smart and experienced and cool, and he puts his weird, complicated political views in Puck's mouth.
Sure,
but literally stunted, right? Like there's things about Puck that hold him back from reaching his potential, and I think John Byrne thinks the same thing about himself.
Okay,
and
yeah.
So it's, if we dive deeper into the psyche of John Byrne, right? He never created supervillains for this team, and he barely has the team act like heroes.
Yeah.
So if you look at this, all we've read so far, all 23 issues so far, right?
Plus a few X-Men.
Right. Walter Lankowski comes across as the villain of this whole thing, and Puck comes across as the hero of the whole thing.
Sure.
And they're always fighting with each other. These are the two guys who hate each other. Like they've tried, like Walter has tried to kill Puck several times.
Yes.
So what does this say about John Byrne?
Have you considered exactly what you're saying, except that he actually looks at Walter Lankowski as a big loser who's trying to be cool, but is actually fucking up all the time. And that's
So-
like
Mhm.
that's the flip side of his ego. It's the self-esteem problem that every artist wrestles with.
Right. So he's like, this is the bully. This is what they think, this is what cool people think they are, but they're actually big dumb idiots. Us losers, like me and Puck, are actually the cool heroes.
Oh no, I still think that Walter Lankowski can be a self-insert like this. Like he's just saying, hey, the cool side of me is Puck. The loser side of me that thinks he's cool is
'Cause
Sasquatch.
it cannot be clearer to me, because of John Byrne's what we read from John Byrne and his blog posts and shit, and the way the arguments he gets in with other artists and writers, the jealousy he has that pervades everything he does. It's so clear to me that John Byrne hates himself.
Yeah, fully. A real drama queen.
And projects that onto other people. But this is a team of superheroes who hates themselves and is constantly fighting this like internal struggle and like these contradictions of viewpoints and goals that I think the fact that he didn't want to write Alpha Flight and he's only doing this so he can actually write Fantastic Four. Now I kind of want to read his Fantastic Four and see what sort of psychology is leaking into that. But almost makes me think he's writing this without thinking too hard about it. And that's why his psychology is leaking so hard onto the page.
Yeah.
It's like a autodidactic exercise. He's free writing. Is that the word? What's the word?
Yeah. We're just like stream of consciousness,
just letting his hand
print
move.
it. Really insightful stuff, Matt. And it makes all of this, I think, make a lot more sense. This is somebody not realizing that he's just writing all the different aspects of his personality onto the page.
I know. Well,
he's got an eye out, stuff that you could buy out. If you had a time machine that you would like to try out, it's Pat Steals and Steals.
Okay, everybody, it's Pat Steals and Steals. Take it away, Pat.
What are you doing?
I thought it'd be fun.
Okay, everybody, this is Pat Steals and Deals.
All right, yep, it's Pat Steals and Steals. Take it away, Pat.
As always, Matt, listeners will know that I have spent my vast fortune collecting every issue of X-Men in original issues so that I can get the ads out of them. And then Matt, of course, threw Alpha Flight onto our schedule as well. So I had to go out, try to buy the Alpha Flights. But at that point, I was out of money. All I could afford were issues that didn't come with ads. So...
Really? The Alpha Flights don't have ads?
Yeah.
Yeah, they do sell cheaper comic books. If you guys have never been to
ones.
Yeah, if you guys have never been to a comic book store, they sell cheaper versions without ads.
Not worth it. Anyway, this one is grabbed from a recent issue of X-Men, I believe. For smart people. Huh?
All right.
Now, before we go any further, Matt, what do you think this could be? It's for smart people. That is our big, bold headline.
Okay. A abacus.
Can
I have multiple guesses?
Take one more guess. Yeah.
Okay. A encyclopedia.
Nope. Neither of those things, idiot. Quit using centuries-old erasers. Have the new magic eraser. Its formula doesn't leave crumbs on paper.
Ugh.
So, for smart people, it's the smart man's eraser.
I'm always thought people who used erasers were stupid.
Now, Matt, what if I told you
I
that
wish
this
you would.
cost an entire $1? All of $1.
Okay,
For
well then it
smart
better
people.
last for 1,000 years.
It's right. So $1 in 1985 is about $3.18 in 2026, which means you are mailing more than $3 to someone to get yourself a pencil eraser.
An eraser. Now, I wonder, is this one of two of the worst erasers I've ever used? Number one, the gummy one, the gray gummy ones.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Hate
Those are for ink, I think. Those are supposed to be for like ballpoint pens, like a Bic pen.
I think they're just artists use them so that they, I don't know. But or those really hard white erasers.
I think it's one of those.
The ones that are like little rocks that are
Yeah.
white. And they're rubber, but they're like really fucking hard. I hate them.
Yeah.
I hate both of those erasers.
And you know what? They do leave crumbs. It's just that the crumbs are white instead of pink, so you can't see them.
Granted, they leave smaller crumbs. When the eraser is brand new, but give that thing a fucking month and it's starting to crumble. I don't want this.
Yeah, me neither.
He's got an eye out, stuff that you could buy out. If you had a time machine that you would like to try out, it's at Gilded Lily.
Oh, folks, it is that time again. We're at the end of the episode, which means...
What does it mean, Pat?
It means we got to thank you for listening all the way to the end. And as our thanks to you, we will let you rate, review, comment, like, subscribe, whatever you can do when you find us on the in media somewhere. Please go nuts. You are more than welcome to. Tell a friend. You know what? Feeling generous today in that I'll even let people join our Patreon, patreon.com/mutant menace.
You're only going to let them do it for free, though, so that they only get the reading lists, right?
No, Matt, I'm going to go ahead and let them pay whatever they want to us.
No way.
$1 minimum to get access to all the bonus content that we're producing.
But they can't pay $100, could they?
They could if they wanted to pay $100.
What?
Again, as a thank you from us.
This is really generous of you.
I'd let them.
That's really, you are a saint.
Per month.
If you wanted to write into St. Patrick's email corner, you can email us at mutantmenacepod@gmail.com. You can also follow us at Mutant Menace Pod on Instagram or on YouTube at Mutant Menace Podcast.
That's right, Matt.
Other thing I want to say is thank you.
To me?
No, to Julia Selly for the voice of Trish Tilby and to Krills Wilson for all of our awesome fucking music.
Yeah, it's true. And then that's got to be it, right, Matt?
I think that's it, except for there's the thing we say at the end of every single episode.
Right, our famous sign-off.
So do you want to go ahead and give it, or should I?
Yeah. Well, as always, folks, I'll handle Mr. Mouth here.
And don't you forget, you are too wise for me, human.